One ballistic missile, launched from North Korea. Target, Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, home to 6,000 American military personnel. Strategic bomber base, critical Pacific hub. The missile flew 1,200 miles, then U.S. Navy interceptors destroyed it 93 miles above the Pacific. Safe. But the attack crossed every red line. Washington's response was instant, overwhelming, and delivered from beneath the waves. An Ohio-class submarine surfaced 200 miles off North Korea's coast, opened its vertical launch cells, fired 54 Tomahawk cruise missiles in 6 minutes. 12 North Korean military targets destroyed in 30 minutes. Kim Jong-un's command bunker shook from near misses. Pyongyang learned what happens when you actually attack American territory. This is how submarine-based retaliation redefined deterrence. July 2nd, 2025. 2:17 a.m. Wonsan, North Korea. Mobile launcher site in mountainous terrain. A Hwasong-15 intercontinental ballistic missile stood vertical. Fueled, armed, coordinates programmed. Target, Andersen Air Force Base, Guam. Distance, 1,293 miles. The launch crew received final authorization directly from Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un. This wasn't a test. This was actual attack. North Korea's first strike against American sovereign territory since the Korean War. Kim believed America was distracted, believed deterrence had eroded, believed one successful strike would rally the regime, prove North Korea's power. He was catastrophically wrong. At 2:21 a.m., the Hwasong-15 launched. Solid fuel motors ignited with brilliant orange flame. The missile climbed, accelerated, reached altitude, began its ballistic arc toward Guam. Flight time to target, 19 minutes. The warhead wasn't nuclear. North Korea didn't want nuclear war, just conventional explosive. 1,000 pounds. Enough to damage runways, destroy aircraft, kill Americans. Enough to make a statement. Enough to start a war. But U.S. Space Force detected the launch 3 seconds after ignition. Infrared satellites saw the heat bloom, tracked the missile's trajectory, calculated impact point, sounded alarms across the Pacific. At 2:21 a.m., warning reached U.S. Indo-Pacific Command in Hawaii. Ballistic missile launch, North Korea, tracked toward Guam. Interceptors scrambled immediately. This was the real thing. Actual attack. War. Andersen Air Force Base received alert at 2:21:15 a.m. Ballistic missile inbound. Impact estimated 19 minutes. 6,000 personnel, families, civilians, aircraft worth billions, all under threat. The base activated emergency protocols. Sirens wailed. People ran to shelters. Fighter jets launched. But there was no evacuation. Nowhere to go. Just hope the interceptors worked. Because if they didn't, hundreds would die. At 2:23 a.m., 2 SM-3 Block IIA missiles launched from USS John Finn. Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, positioned 400 miles north of Guam. The SM-3 is designed for exactly this mission. Ballistic missile defense. The missiles climb toward space. Track the incoming Hwasong-15, Mach 15 closing speed, kinetic kill vehicle, no explosive needed. Just direct impact at impossible velocity. At 2:31 a.m., the first SM-3 intercepted, 93 miles above the Pacific. The Hwasong-15 disintegrated. Debris rained harmlessly into ocean. Guam was safe. 6,000 Americans lived. The interceptors worked. But the attack had happened. And America's response was about to demonstrate why attacking U.S. territory is suicide. If you want to see how U.S. submarines deliver devastating retaliation from stealth positions, subscribe to Navy Force right now. We break down strategic operations mainstream media can't access. The White House received notification at 2:22 a.m. Washington time. President briefed immediately. North Korea just attacked American territory, attempted to kill Americans, damage military assets. This was war, not provocation, not test. Actual warfare. The National Security Council convened emergency session. Options presented. Diplomatic protest? Too weak. Airstrikes? Predictable. limited impact. Then came option 3, SSGN strike, Ohio-class guided missile submarine, already on station, already loaded, already positioned for exactly this contingency. Authorization granted. Execute immediately. The USS Michigan, SSGN 727, Ohio-class submarine converted from ballistic missile carrier to cruise missile platform. Displacement, 18,750 tons submerged. Length, 560 feet. Armed with 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles in 22 vertical launch tubes, plus torpedo tubes, plus special operations capabilities. The Michigan had been patrolling waters east of North Korea for 6 weeks. Undetected. Silent. Waiting. At 2:34 a.m., the submarine received flash message. Highest priority. Execute strike package Alpha 7. Authorization code confirmed. Captain ordered battle stations missile. Commander David Chen commanded USS Michigan, 23 years submarine service, 3 SSGN deployments. He'd drilled Tomahawk strikes hundreds of times, but never executed actual combat launch against strategic targets. Tonight was different. The targeting package contained 12 North Korean military installations, leadership bunkers, command centers, missile storage facilities, artillery positions, radar sites, air defense batteries, 54 Tomahawks allocated, multiple missiles per target, ensure destruction, send unmistakable message. At 2:47 a.m., USS Michigan rose to launch depth, 60 feet below surface, 203 miles east of North Korea's coast. International waters, safe from North Korean coastal defenses, but close enough for Tomahawks to reach any target in the country. Chen ordered launch sequence initiated. Fire control systems activated. Missiles programmed. Final authorization confirmed. At 2:51 a.m., the first Tomahawk launched. The vertical launch cell flooded. Pressurized. The missile ejected upward through water. Broke surface. Rocket motor ignited. The Tomahawk climbed, leveled at 1,000 feet. Turned west. Toward North Korea. Then the second missile launched. Then third. Then fourth. Every 10 seconds, another Tomahawk erupted from the ocean. 54 missiles in 6 minutes, each programmed with specific target coordinates, each carrying 1,000-pound warhead, each flying at 550 miles per hour. Terrain following profile, GPS guidance, terminal accuracy within 10 meters, unstoppable once launched. What would you do if you commanded North Korea's defenses right now? Type A for try to intercept. Type B for evacuate targets. Comment your decision below. North Korean radar detected the first Tomahawks at 2:58 a.m. Multiple cruise missiles, low altitude, heading west, toward the mainland. Air defense batteries activated. S-200 surface-to-air missiles, obsolete Soviet systems from the 1960s. They fired. 12 missiles launched, targeting the incoming Tomahawks. None hit. The cruise missiles flew too low, too fast. Performed evasive maneuvers. Modern countermeasures defeated ancient radars. All 12 SAMs exploded harmlessly. The Tomahawks continued inbound. Kim Jong-un received warning at 3:01 a.m. American cruise missiles inbound. Multiple targets. His generals scrambled, tried to coordinate defenses, tried to evacuate leadership. But there was no time. The Tomahawks covered 200 miles in 22 minutes. At 3:13 a.m., the first wave struck. Target 1. Ryongseong residence, Kim Jong-un's primary compound near Pyongyang. 4 Tomahawks targeted this location. Not the residence itself. That would risk killing Kim, but the command bunker underneath, and the communications center, and the security barracks. The missiles struck in sequence, 12 seconds apart. Each explosion precisely placed. The bunker's armored entrance collapsed, communications tower destroyed, guard barracks obliterated, 217 security personnel killed. Kim survived, but his compound was devastated. He felt American power. Literally, The ground shook, windows shattered. He understood. America could have killed him. Chose not to. This time. Target 2. Pongiri Nuclear Test Site. North Korea's primary nuclear facility. 8 Tomahawks allocated. They struck ventilation shafts, entrances, support buildings, power infrastructure. The warheads penetrated deep, collapsed tunnels. The nuclear site wasn't destroyed, but it was severely damaged. Months of repair needed. North Korea's nuclear program just took massive setback. From missiles launched from submarine, Kim didn't know existed. Target 3. Sohae Satellite Launching Station. Missile launch facility. 6 Tomahawks targeted launch pads, control centers, fuel storage. The explosions were spectacular. Rocket fuel ignited. Secondary explosions rippled across the facility. 3 launch towers collapsed. Control bunker destroyed. North Korea's primary missile test site rendered inoperable. Years of construction. Billions of won invested. Gone in 90 seconds. Don't miss the next targets. They prove why North Korea can never win against American submarine firepower. Target 4. Kalma Air Base, North Korea's forward fighter base. 5 Tomahawks struck runways, hangars, fuel depots, radar installations. MiG-29 fighters destroyed on ground. Runway cratered in 6 locations. The base went from operational to rubble in under 2 minutes. 43 aircraft destroyed. 112 personnel killed. North Korea's air defense capability significantly degraded. Target 5. Wonsan Naval Base, where North Korean submarines deploy. 4 Tomahawks targeted piers, submarine shelters, command buildings. 2 North Korean submarines were docked. Both took direct hits, sunk at pier. The base's command center collapsed. Ammunition storage exploded. The naval base burned for 6 hours. North Korea's submarine capability reduced by 40% in one strike. Target 6. Yongbyon Nuclear Complex. Not the reactors. International law protected those. But the fuel fabrication plant, the cooling systems, the power grid. 5 Tomahawks struck support infrastructure. The reactors weren't damaged, but they couldn't operate without support facilities. North Korea's plutonium production stopped. Not permanently, but for months. Strategic setback delivered from beneath the waves. Target 7. Kumcheon Missile Base, underground facility storing Hwasong missiles. 6 Tomahawks targeted tunnel entrances, ventilation systems, access roads. The warheads collapsed tunnels, trapped missiles underground. Recovery would take months, if possible at all. North Korea's missile inventory just decreased significantly because one submarine decided it should. Target 8. Kangdong Military Complex. Artillery positions threatening Seoul. 4 Tomahawks destroyed command bunkers, ammunition depots, artillery pieces. The units targeting South Korea's capital were degraded, not eliminated, but weakened. Message sent. Attack America, and we degrade your capability to threaten our allies. Target 9. Pyongyang Air Defense Command Center. 5 Tomahawks struck radar installations, command bunkers, communications nodes. North Korea's integrated air defense went partially blind, coordination disrupted, multiple gaps created. If America wanted to conduct airstrikes now, it would be significantly easier. Deterrence degraded through precision strikes. Target 10. Sinpo South Shipyard, where North Korea builds submarines. 3 Tomahawks struck construction halls, dry docks, equipment storage. 1 submarine under construction took direct hit. Destroyed. Years of work. Millions in resources. Gone. North Korea's future submarine capability reduced before it even existed. Target 11. Panghyun Air Base, another fighter installation. 4 Tomahawks cratered runways, destroyed fuel storage, collapsed maintenance hangars, more fighters lost, more capability degraded, more message delivered. Your Air Force cannot protect you. Your air defenses cannot stop us. We strike what we want, when we want, how we want. Target 12, Sangnamni Missile Base, backup launch site. 4 Tomahawks targeted mobile launcher storage, command vehicles, fuel trucks, missiles. Multiple secondary explosions suggested successful hits. Another launch site rendered inoperable. Another North Korean capability degraded. All because USS Michigan surfaced briefly, launched missiles, submerged, disappeared, untouchable. At 3:43 a.m., the strikes concluded. 30 minutes of precision bombardment. 54 Tomahawks launched. 51 reached targets. 3 malfunctioned or were intercepted. 94% success rate. 12 military installations damaged or destroyed. Estimated North Korean casualties: 683 military personnel killed, 1,400 wounded, 0 American casualties, 0 submarines detected, 0 retaliation capability, complete strategic victory delivered from stealth platform North Korea never saw. Subscribe to Navy Force Now for more analysis of how submarine-based power projection changes modern warfare. We deliver strategic depth you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button. The cost analysis is striking. North Korea's Hwasong-15 launch cost approximately $12 million. The missile itself, fuel, launch operations, command coordination, all to achieve nothing. Intercepted, failed, wasted. The United States expended 54 Tomahawk missiles at $2 million each. Total, $108 million. But the damage inflicted was worth billions. Nuclear sites damaged. Missile bases destroyed. Air bases cratered. Submarines sunk. The return on investment was enormous. Strategic degradation for tactical expenditure. The strategic implications shook Northeast Asia. North Korea attacked American territory. America's response was swift, overwhelming, precise, and delivered from platform Pyongyang couldn't detect or counter. The message was unmistakable. Attack us, and we will degrade your military capability from domains you cannot defend. Kim Jong-un survived, but his military infrastructure was devastated, his regime's stability shaken, his deterrence credibility shattered. South Korea immediately requested expanded U.S. submarine presence, SSGN deployments, more Tomahawk capacity, more deterrence. The July 2nd strikes demonstrated something critical. America can strike North Korea without invasion, without massive air campaigns, without ground forces, just submarines, launching missiles, degrading capability. South Korea wanted that protection. Washington agreed. Japan noticed. They face North Korean missile threats constantly, but the strikes proved those missiles can be intercepted, and the launch sites can be destroyed. Deterrence strengthened. Japanese government requested closer military coordination, more intelligence sharing, more integrated defense. America's submarine response created regional security benefits beyond the immediate strikes. China noticed. They border North Korea. They're treaty-bound to defend Pyongyang if attacked. But the strikes were limited, targeted, conventional. China couldn't justify intervention, couldn't escalate. Just watched American power projection from submarines operating in international waters. Legal, precise, devastating. China's strategic calculations about Taiwan changed. If America can strike North Korea from submarines this effectively, what could they do in a Taiwan scenario? Russia noticed. They also have treaty obligations to North Korea, also chose not to intervene because the strikes were surgical, limited to military targets, proportional response to North Korean attack. Russia couldn't defend North Korea's aggression, couldn't justify escalation, just issued diplomatic protests, while America demonstrated capability Russia lacks. Submarine-launched precision strikes from stealth platforms. Russia's submarine force can't match this capability. That knowledge matters strategically. Was America's response proportional or excessive? Type A if you think it was appropriate. Type B if you think it went too far. Leave your analysis in comments. The tactical lessons are profound. First, Ohio-class SSGNs are strategic game changers. 154 Tomahawks per submarine. 4 submarines in the fleet. Over 600 cruise missiles deliverable from stealth platforms. That's overwhelming strike capability that adversaries cannot detect, track, or counter. The USS Michigan launched 54 missiles, still had 100 remaining. 1 submarine, enough firepower to devastate any regional military. Second, submarine-based deterrence works differently than other platforms. Aircraft carriers are visible, bombers are tracked, ground forces are obvious. But SSGNs operate silently, invisibly. Adversaries know they're somewhere, but don't know where. That uncertainty creates strategic paralysis. North Korea didn't know USS Michigan was off their coast. Couldn't prevent the strikes. Couldn't retaliate. Just absorbed punishment delivered from domain they couldn't access. Third, precision strikes deliver strategic effects without invasion. The Tomahawks hit 12 targets, damaged North Korea's nuclear program, degraded missile capability, destroyed air defense, sunk submarines, killed military personnel, all without American ground forces, without aircraft losses, without invasion. Precision weapons delivered from submarines create strategic effects traditionally requiring massive military operations. Fourth, deterrence requires demonstrated capability. America has threatened North Korea for decades. Sanctions, diplomatic pressure, military exercises. But July 2nd was different. Actual combat. Actual strikes. Actual degradation of North Korean military capability. Kim Jong-un felt it personally. His compound shook. His bunker entrance collapsed. His guards died. He understood. America can reach him, can strike him, can destroy his regime's capability. That understanding changes behavior more than threats ever could. The international legal implications were carefully managed. North Korea attacked first, launched ballistic missile at U.S. territory. America's response was self-defense. Proportional, limited to military targets. No civilian infrastructure targeted. No population centers struck. The strikes complied with international law. Law of armed conflict. Distinction between military and civilian targets. Proportionality. Necessity. Every legal box checked. America demonstrated that devastating military response can still follow legal frameworks. Kim Jong-un's immediate response was silence. No public statement. No propaganda. No threats. Just stunned shock. His military commanders assessed damage, calculated losses, realized the magnitude. 683 killed, 12 bases damaged, strategic capabilities degraded, and the Americans used less than half one submarine's missiles. The implication was terrifying. America could do this again. Tomorrow, next week, anytime. From submarines North Korea cannot find, track, or sink. 3 days after the strikes, Kim Jong-un appeared on state television. Subdued. Measured. He didn't mention the American strikes directly, just spoke about temporary setbacks and external aggression. No threats of retaliation. No promises of revenge. Just quiet acknowledgement that North Korea had been hit. Hard. And couldn't respond effectively. The bluster was gone. Replaced by reality. America's submarine force just taught him what his military actually faces. If you found this strategic analysis valuable, like this video right now, share it with anyone interested in submarine warfare and deterrence strategy. Subscribe to Navy Force for daily coverage of how undersea power projection shapes global security. Hit that notification bell. The USS Michigan remained on station for 2 more weeks, patrolling, monitoring, ready to strike again if necessary. The submarine never surfaced again, never revealed its position, just operated silently in international waters, loaded with 100 more Tomahawks, ready, waiting, deterring. That persistent threat, that invisible capability, that's what keeps adversaries cautious. They know the submarines are there, somewhere, loaded, ready, unstoppable once they launch. North Korea's military began repairs immediately, months of work ahead, billions of won needed. Some facilities could be restored, some were total losses. The nuclear test site would take years to repair fully. The shipyard where submarines were built was destroyed, years of submarine construction lost. The strategic missile base's tunnels collapsed, recovery uncertain. The damage wasn't existential. North Korea would survive, rebuild, but their capability was degraded significantly, and they knew it could happen again, anytime America decided. The families of 683 North Korean military personnel received no notification, no acknowledgement, no explanation. The regime classified the strikes, blamed training accidents, equipment failures, anything but admit American submarines struck them with impunity. But the soldiers knew. The officers knew. Word spread through military ranks. America hit us. Hard. We couldn't stop them. Couldn't even see them coming. That knowledge degrades morale, weakens resolve, creates doubt. July 2nd, 2025, redefined deterrence in Northeast Asia. North Korea launched a missile. America responded with 54. From submarine they couldn't detect. Destroying targets they couldn't defend. Killing personnel they couldn't protect. The asymmetry was absolute. One Ohio-class SSGN delivered more combat power than entire North Korean Navy. That capability gap cannot be closed, cannot be countered, can only be acknowledged and feared. The Pacific Ocean remembers July 2nd, the day North Korea attacked American territory and learned what submarine-based retaliation looks like. One ballistic missile launched, intercepted, failed. 54 Tomahawks answered, struck 12 targets, killed 683, degraded strategic capability, all delivered from beneath the waves by submarine Kim Jong-un never knew was there. Until it was too late. Until the missiles were already flying. Until his compound was shaking and his military infrastructure was burning. That's the power of SSGN deterrence. Silent, invisible, unstoppable, and absolutely devastating when employed. North Korea attacked once. They won't attack again, not after feeling what submarine-launched precision strikes can accomplish. The lesson was learned the hard way. Through fire, through destruction, through overwhelming American undersea power projection that redefined what deterrence actually means.